Hey guys, so I'm gonna do a little update review on the CSB thin line non-reference. Let me just double check. Does not say. Yeah, CSB Ultrathin Bible, non-reference. So I've had this Bible literally 6 months. I got it on April 23rd, 2019. Today is October 28th. So I've had this for 6 months, and I use it quite frequently. And I've actually grown to like it a lot. I'm going to talk about the construction of the Bible as well as the translation. I'll get into that as well. But so when I first got this, if you saw the original video, it was pretty stiff. Not the leather itself, but the end sheets were real stiff because it's like double edge line. They have these super thick end sheets, and there's 2 of them. So but once you get that broken in, I'm gonna turn to Genesis here, and it lays open flat when you lay it on the table, and it has softened up so much. I love it. I really do. As you can see, my corners are bent in. That's because of my Bible case and how I carry it. But another thing that really attracted me to this particular Bible is I wanted something that was about the same footprint as my journal, where I write all my sermons and etc. And I wanted something about this size. Well, this ultra thin, if I do this, here's my journal, and there's the Bible, and the footprint is almost identical. So it works out really well, especially with this case that I carry it all in. And so yeah, it softened up a lot. And how I did that is, I just sat with it, and I would bend this end sheet. Just like that. And when I read it like this. So, and look, it's super floppy, very flexible. So, I know when I first got it, I was worried about it being stiff and everything like that. But it's broken in very nicely. Now, as far as the translation goes, CSB, Christian Standard Bible. When I got my first copy of the CSB, I bought like a cheap, I think it was like $13, just a cheap little copy, so that I could go through it and kind of break it down. And I did not want to like it. I didn't want to like it. But I compared it with New King James Version, which is my favorite translation, and NASB. So those 2 translations are pretty much word for word translation, as close as they can get to word for word. And the philosophy behind the CSB translation is they call it optimal equivalence. So you have formal equivalence, which is like the NASB. You have I can't think of it right now, guys. There's formal equivalence, and then one that is
say a command.
No. View map. Sorry. But you have one that's like thought for thought, which is like NIV, NLT, things like that. And this seeks to get right in the middle of that. So you've got your word for word, where they can, and when word for word kind of it makes it obscure what the actual intent of the passage or sentence is, they go to kind of a thought for thought, being as accurate as they can. And there have been places in here, well, where I'm like, is that really what it said? And then I'll pull out my New King James and my NASB, and I'll put them side by side, and I'm like, yeah, that's what it says. It might not sound as elegant, but that's what it says in like today's language. So I've really taken a liking to the CSB because it's easy to understand and it's accurate. You don't have to worry about, somebody putting their interpretation into it. And they use over 100 biblical scholars to translate this translation. And it's been really good. So a funny thing, since I have compared it with New King James and NASB, I'm like, it's like if you were to put those two together and they were to have a baby, CSB would be it. But then I talk to guys who are like ESV readers, and they say it's like if you were to put ESV and NIV together, then CSB would be their baby. So like it's like taking all of the most trusted translations in America or in English and putting them all together, and you have the CSB. And like I said, I did not want to like it. I got it so I could, kind of dissect it and tear it down, break it down, whatever. But I can't. There are a couple of things that I don't necessarily like about it. Like they use the word beer in place of fermented drink or strong drink. So like in Proverbs, I forget which chapter it is, but it says wine is, here it is, Proverbs 20 verse 1. Wine is a mocker, beer is a brawler. Whoever goes astray because of them is not wise. So it gets the point across, but my issue with that is, I believe King James version anyway says Proverbs 20. Sorry, guys. I believe it's strong drink. And yes, I compare it to King James because that's what I grew up on. Wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging, and whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So you saw me stumble over that, and I grew up with this translation. Wine is a mocker, beer is a brawler, whoever goes astray because of them is not wise. It just rolls off the tongue. But my problem is strong drink. And John MacArthur has a breakdown of, wine in the Bible and how they used it. Its alcohol content back then was nothing like the wine that we have today. Like a typical drink, a typical wine mix was like maybe 2.5% alcohol. Whereas our wine today is like 14 plus. So, and when they say strong drink, that's like mixing your wine 50-50, and that's like 5%. So to them, strong drink was 5%, which beer is typically around 5%, right? So, I mean, it's what it means, right? So, I guess it makes sense to do that, but I mean, in today's terms, it might make more sense to say liquor is a brawler or something like that. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. And in some places, it's actually more literal than NASB because it's so straightforward in today's language. So anyway, sorry, I'm getting a call, guys. I thank you for watching this, and God bless.